Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Preston Williams. If you do not know, this is a channel just to where I try to put you guys on game as to the things that I have learned along my journey in real estate of building my business and things that I've learned from other agents, mistakes I've made, and all of that just to, in hopes, help you avoid making those same mistakes and make your journey a little smoother, a little easier, and allow you to build that business and keep on growing. Today, I want to talk about for my new agents, my people who are considering being agents and you're doing your research. And I just want to talk about how much money do real estate agents actually make. I want to get straight to the point. We'll look at how much you can make on the listing side and how much you can make on the buyer side and what the standards are. Of course, there are cases to where these numbers change, but these will be the standard numbers as far as your commissions, because this is a sale-based job to where you don't make anything if you don't sell anything. So you do want to know what you can make and know how to budget it, know where to put your money and everything. So let's just cover how much you can actually bring home from one sale. So let's start on the buyer side. When you're the buyer's agent, you don't get to set your commission. The amount you bring home is actually set by the listing agent of the house you sell. Now, you can do things to where you say, I have to make this certain amount and put it in your buyer's agreement. And if the house doesn't pay that amount, or if they offer under that percentage, because you're going to put in a percentage, not a dollar amount, because you may end up shorting yourself on the other end. If the house pays less than that, you can ask the buyer to cover the difference. But usually you're not going to want to do that because the buyer just probably wouldn't put an offer on that house. On the buyer side, typically you're going to make 3% of the purchase price of the house, not the listing price, not the offer price, the purchase price. Let's look at what's the difference in those. The listing price is the price that the listing agent and the owner of the house, the seller, have decided that they want to ask for. They kind of draw that as like the minimum, although that line is very flexible if the house is there for a while, but that's what they kind of are drawing as their minimum they'll take. The offer price is how much the buyer is offering to buy the house for. That number can change based on things like appraisal and things like that. So that number is flexible as well. The actual purchase price is what the house actually closes at. What did the house actually sell for? And of that number is what you make your percentage from. And that percentage is typically, for a buyer's agent, 3% of the purchase price. For example, if the house is $300,000, 3% of that is $9,000. That would be your commission. So the amount you make is directly correlated to the amount of the price of the house that you sell. The smaller houses pay less, the larger houses pay more, and typically it will be 3% of the purchase price on the buyer side. This amount is not made by you. That's the standard, and where it's paid from, the seller pays the listing agent out of their proceeds, and the listing agent pays you. They paid you because you're bringing the buyer that allows them to sell the house. So 3% is the standard. Sometimes it can flex around. It usually does not flex upward, but it can flex down. I have lately been seeing a lot of agents who the listing agent is offering a 2.5%. I personally don't agree with that, but usually it's because they're listing the house for little. So on the side of being the listing agent is what all realtors aspire to be. They want to be on the listing side. The listing side because you set your price. Now, you do still have to be competitive, because just because you get a listing call does not mean you're able to charge them whatever you want to. They're going to probably compare with other people. and or like interview a different agents to be their listing agent. You do want to keep it within a reasonable range, but typically you're able to list houses for 6 or 7%. I do know agents who list at 8%, but those are usually agents who just have a niche of that they pretty much have locked up. I guess you could say they've been doing it for a long time. They know that everyone in this area or everyone in this wherever are gonna use them. They're not interviewing other people, and they're able to charge a little bit more. So a 6 or 7% is what you're gonna pay. Now that doesn't mean you bring home the whole 6 or 7%, because you're gonna pay your buyer's agent who brings you a buyer. You're gonna pay them a 3%, which means that you will actually bring home 3 to 4%. So of a $1,000 house, if you list it at 6, you're gonna make 3% of that still, because you're paying your buyer's agent, which means you're gonna bring home 9% as well. Now, if you do happen to list it higher at 7%, you're still gonna pay your buyer's agent 3, which means you make 4%, which would be $12,000. So that 1% does make a big difference on your side, which is why on the side of the owner of the house, the seller, when you are presenting your presentation, you want to be very, very particular and strategic when you're telling them how much you list for. You don't want to just go with the higher number just because you can, because there may be another agent who they interview who goes with a lower number. There are agents out there who list at lower than 6%. I personally don't agree with it. I feel like we have to take ownership of how much we are valued, how much we're worth, and that we need to hold the standard to a certain place. But I have seen agents who list for 5 or 4%, and they only make 1 or 2% on the set. Now, let's look at how much you actually bring home of your commission. We'll just use a round number of $10,000. You make a sale, or your commission is $10,000. How much of that actually goes in your pocket? Because it's not the whole thing. It's not the whole thing. I want you to understand that. So when you have your brokerage, an important thing to talk about them with is how much is the split. There are brokerages who do a split as far as they get a percentage of each of your sales, and there's also brokerages who do a flat rate, which means that they just charge a flat rate per transaction. You want to be aware of that, because that would dictate how much of the other $10,000 that you actually keep. For example, if you're at a brokerage to where they do a split of like 80-20, which means you keep 80%, the brokerage makes 20%, then of the $10,000 you would make $8,000, the brokerage would make $2,000. If you do a brokerage that has a flat rate, typically the flat rate brokerages are around $500 a transaction, meaning you would make and take home $9,500. The brokerage would take home $500. Now that's a big difference. Don't think just because a brokerage has a flat rate and charges you less that's all that matters. More than likely, most of the time, the brokerage who does a percentage, who makes more, they offer you more in exchange, as far as like office space, personal offices, conference rooms, and more things like that. I actually have a video on picking your brokerage, and it goes over all that. I'll leave you a tag right here, and also at the end of the video if you do want to watch that. So how much do real estate agents make? Typically at 3% of the sale of the purchase price. The bigger the house you sell, the more money you make. The smaller the house you sell, the less money you make. It's directly correlated with the sales price of the house. A new construction can be a bit different, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to keep it very general on just how real estate agents make money. 3% to 4% of the price of the house is typically what you're gonna make. If you like this video or learned anything from it, or if it helps you out in any way, please hit the like button. If you want to learn more and get updates on when I post new videos, which I'm trying to do this basically weekly, if not more, then hit the subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button. And if there's anybody else who you know who could use this information, please hit the share button. If you have any questions or anything that you would like to know, or just anything you wonder about being a new agent or getting your license, leave it in the comments and let me know, and I'll be happy to make a video on it. We're all learning here. I'm learning as well, and I hope that I can help you build your business and make this a journey easy for you. I'm Preston Williams. Thank you for watching. I'm out.